So welcome, Lauren. Can you tell us a bit about your role and the positions you recruit for at NYU?
Sure. And first, just want to say thanks, Joe, for including me in this. I love being a part of the NYU recruiting community, so happy to contribute. But a little bit about me. So, I'm a campus recruiter at Deloitte, based out of our New York office. And I've been with the firm for about 4.5 years now. Throughout that time, I've overseen a variety of our undergraduate and advanced degree consulting recruiting programs. Currently, in addition to my NYU responsibilities, I manage some of our office programs. So the internship, onboarding for both New York and Boston. And then actually pretty recently, I took on a national role as an account lead for our undergraduate strategy recruiting program, which is what we focus on here at NYU. So I help a lot with that program, kind of planning nationwide. With NYU, so like I mentioned, we recruit for our undergraduate consulting recruiting efforts and that strategy program that I just shared. And just to clarify for any students watching, I'm the consulting recruiter, and my colleague, Callie McCarthy, recruits for Deloitte for our other businesses, such as risk and financial advisory and audit. But for consulting specifically, we recruit at NYU for our analyst role, which is our entry-level full-time position that's geared towards seniors. And then the summer scholar program, which is a summer internship specifically geared towards juniors. And typically we recruit for both of those roles in the fall. So at this point in the season, we're kind of just having some marketing and informational events with students, and then we'll look to pick up our efforts again in a couple months.
Great, thank you. So what are the most important skills needed to be successful in consulting? Have they changed since COVID? And what are some specific qualities do you personally look for in candidates when hiring for consultant roles?
Yeah, great question. So I think there are a couple things that are pretty core to being a successful consultant. The first thing I would say is definitely analytical skills. Problem solving is obviously at the core of what our consultants do, right? They're presented with complex problems for our clients. They're analyzing data, assessing the situation, making recommendations. So I think the ability to really think critically and outside of the box is definitely key. Another big thing I would say is your communication and your interpersonal skills. As a consultant, you're actively presenting your recommendations to the client, and usually it's pretty senior leadership. So a level of executive presence is definitely required to be successful. And then the other major component I would say is a teaming ability. I think it's really important. Just consultants are, working with their project teams day in and day out. So the ability to be respectful, poised, and team-oriented to meet the goals at hand is really important. And I think all of these still stand regardless of the situation with COVID, right? Even though we're virtual, I think these are still really important to consulting. And then on a personal level, what do I look for in an ideal candidate? I would definitely say a positive attitude. I think having that can-do mindset, no matter what you're presented with, really goes a long way.
Awesome, thank you. So can you provide a snapshot of the consulting industry right now? Has COVID impacted the industry? I guess what's the outlook, hiring trends, some priorities, just a nice insight of what's happening.
Yeah, definitely. So, the COVID crisis obviously has affected everybody across the board, right? I think, we can agree that all industries, all organizations felt some sort of disruption or impact to either their business or the way that they operate on the day-to-day. But for consulting in particular, I think being grounded and not being able to travel and see our clients, even our coworkers, our teammates, that was a really big change. We also saw many of our clients affected, particularly those that were in the hospitality industry. So there was definitely some uncertainty at first, right? But I think, over the last several months, we've emerged really strong, and we've actually been able to adapt to this new world and, find different types of projects and opportunities to help our clients. I actually think that the crisis ended up being an opportunity for different types of projects, right? Our clients are now kind of looking to restructure and rebuild, and so we're able to help them in that capacity. So I think just, being able to engage our clients in different ways has really, been good for us over the last several months. I'd say with that, it's a positive outlook for consulting right now. And in terms of hiring trends, we're always in need of new hands. We have a lot of work coming in, so I don't anticipate that slowing down anytime soon. And then the other thing I'd share, I think one of the big priorities for our firm right now, which I really appreciate, is not only obviously to continue effectively serving our clients, but also just, keeping well-being for our people as top of mind. I think especially in this virtual environment, working from home, it's easy to find ways to work longer hours and not disconnect like you normally would. So I think we're being pretty intentional about our effort to prioritize well-being, support our people, and I can say personally that goes a long way.
I love that. That's important. Yeah, that balance is so important to making sure that it's sustainable and you don't get burnt out.
Exactly. It's not always the easiest to achieve, but definitely something to keep in mind.
I agree. So next question, what should students who want to pursue a career in consulting know before trying to enter the industry?
Yeah, so I think I would just say, if you're unsure about what consulting is or what it consists of, it's just an awesome way to get exposure to a variety of industries, really diversify your skill set and your knowledge, especially just starting out in your career, right, straight out of school. It's a really good opportunity to help you grow professionally. And I think that, although it might not look the same as it always has, right, we know that with weekly travel and things like that, I think the exciting nature of it definitely still remains, with, tons of ever-changing projects, the opportunities to help with many exciting and important issues. So I'd really say it's an opportunity to make a true tangible impact.
And do you have any additional advice for our students that maybe you haven't mentioned yet?
Yeah, sure. I would just say to be early and proactive in the steps that you're taking to position yourself for a consulting role. In addition to keeping up your academics, I recommend engaging with the firms you're interested in to start building relationships and connections early. Familiarize yourself with casing, just because that's such a big part of the interview process across the board. And then just get involved with extracurriculars that, would help you develop those key transferable skills that we talked about earlier. We as recruiters and employers are really excited to engage with the students, so get to know them all throughout the process. So I would say, definitely leverage us as well, as you go through that process.